Welcome everybody to another BitShares Open Agenda Hangout on the Beyond Bitcoin Network. Today is Saturday, July 21st, 2018. It's been a while that we've been doing these Hangouts on a weekly basis, providing an open agenda hangout where anybody can reach out, post, and as long as it's within a reasonable guidelines of what we do talk about here, which is cryptocurrency beyond Bitcoin and important things that are going on in the BitShares ecosystem, you are more than welcome to join up and post and provide information that you would like to discuss or like to discuss every week. Now, with that said, we power these hangouts with Beyond Bit tokens, which are the world's first cross-chain value-added tokens where you actually can leverage these tokens to get rewards on mutual aid society chains like Steem and Whale Shares coming. Now, with that said, we do have an agenda that has started out this week, and I'll go through the list of the agenda, and then I will go ahead and chip away at it. First will be some general announcements, followed by SteemPower, the BitShares State of the Network Report excerpt, and then we will move into Cryptick, who's going to be talking about the BitShares Android wallet worker proposal. And we will bring up something, or maybe Fav is going to be surprising us with a mic show up today, but I'm probably going to lean in the direction of him sticking back as a fly on the wall while we discuss news for the BitShares Committee. And then Taconator is here for all of those of you who love the taco, and I know that there are many of you. And he is going to be bringing up three different issues. One would be free coins at BitShares. The next one would be BitShares fees, the fee schedule and DEX profitability. And the next one would be, I'd like to you a beer with bitCNY. Now, with that said, let's go ahead and go into some of the general announcements. For Beyond Bitcoin, we do have weekly initiatives and various things that are going on. This past week, we had a special, a very special one, and I think we're going to start doing this more and more. Something I didn't want to do until we were a little bit closer to having whale shares, because I want to start using whale shares for these ideas. But we have tokens for tweets challenges, and generally we have people send out tweets about popular things that are going on or things that we think are important to get out to people, because Twitter's a big platform for people to talk about cryptocurrencies for some reason. And it's also a great use case in the initial stages for what we're planning on doing. Now, with that said, what we do is we allow people to share something that we would like them to share, post that they've done so, and then they get rewarded in tokens that are going to be valuable as upvote tokens or something to that effect. Now, with that said, we actually had a tokens for tweet that's a little bit different this week. And it was that we chose a target like High Fidelity Inc., and kind of like we did with Craig Sawyer for Project Milkbox, where we had the community, quote unquote, lovingly zerg them and say, hey, we would like you to come on and talk with Fuzzy and with our community. And we want to talk to the High Fidelity people who are going to be doing VR stuff and just received $35 million in funding for it. And maybe discuss some of the cool things that they're doing and how we can leverage their platform. So there's some cool things that we did this week. And if you want to participate, you can still participate in the event by just going around and going to them and actually, or going to @OfficialFuzzy on EOSTalk.io. And you'll see, it'll give you a direct guidance on how to participate in it. Now, with that said, I want to show force as far as the community being willing to really stand up and say, hey, there are a bunch of us. We would like to talk to you guys and hear about it and discuss things with you about it. Because these are the ways that we can make connections that can help BitShares, because we want to also offer a lot of the things that they're going to have on our markets eventually, right? This is what we should be wanting anyway, in my opinion. So if you believe or agree with me, then please consider participating in the Tokens for Tweet Challenge. Now, with that said, let's go ahead and go into the BitShares State of the Network report. This is by @SteemPower, and he provides this almost weekly with various updates. And of course, this is just an excerpt from the prior week. So this is not by any means the full thing. You can go to these open agenda RSVPs, or you can go to @SteemPower, and that will be at EOSTalk.io. And you can go there and you can actually see where he posts along with the link to go read the full excerpt, or the full BitShares State of the Network report, rather. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get into that right now. Liquidity on the BitShares DEX has seen a good increase in the last 2 weeks, with last week seeing 30% increase, and this week seeing a 7.6% increase. Next up, Spring BTS Fund is launching on BitShares. Spring BTS Fund is a BTS interior fund jointly initiated by Water Drip Capital and Ivy Capital. The fund accounts are jointly managed by two capital via multiple signatures. All operations are open and transparent for this. Up next, Kibana.bitshares.eu is a new tool that allows anyone to create visual representations of historical BitShares blockchain data. It is also creatively titled Timeline, which allows you to use master expression to display data from multiple data sources using an Elasticsearch method. Up next, @Clockwork has released a post on BitShares fees, fee schedule, and profitability of the DEX. The report concludes over 85% of the revenue of the DEX comes from non-trading activities. @Stan Larimer has had a reunion with Kevin Harrington of Shark Tank fame at Freedom Fest on Friday the 13th, where the pair attended a live stream with Crypto Connie from Blue. And then the final one for today is the Blocktivity.info developer has announced his intention to open source the platform. Blocktivity is a great tool, and its purpose is to clearly display important information, data, and metrics about blockchains. And just really quickly, regarding the Blocktivity thing, we use it, we show people every day Blocktivity-based data, because when they look at CoinMarketCap, it's framing the data in a way that most people don't necessarily always understand. But the way that data is framed can very much change the perception of that data. And when you look at something like CoinMarketCap, you never really are shown how active the actual networks are. So all you're seeing is the valuation of it based on speculation in a market, right? Or across markets. So the point being, if you can show somebody a site like Blocktivity where they actually frame the information in a way, the data in a way that informs people of the value of our blockchains and actually shows them the differences in terms of actual usability and actual scalability, then those numbers that show the price and the market cap of the coins start to be a little bit less important when you start seeing the truth of the numbers of how many people can and do use things like BitShares. So just really quickly want to say that if anybody wants to support @SteemPower, make sure to join up to his blog and upvote and share his content. Now, with that said, this is the part of the episode where we join up and we allow people to, if they want to speak about a project that is directly working with BitShares and helping BitShares, what they do is they'll join up, they'll RSVP, they'll give information on all of that, and that is what we're going to do now. So that will be Cryptick is going to be stepping up. He has signed up today to talk about support for the BitShares Android custom wallet worker proposal. Hermie, who is an old school person from BitShares, from the cabinet, can come and tell us the exciting worker proposal that is launched, but Cryptick is now here because Permy has not been able to make it. However, they do want to talk about some different things that they want to add or that they want to change and fix, customize, so to speak. And I will go ahead and I'll step back and I'll say thank you, Cryptick, for being here to discuss this with the community and to provide information.
Thank you. It's very glad to be here and to share about this exciting worker proposal that we have going forward. So there's been a lot of work that's gone on behind the scenes in the last several months as we have been preparing this and looking at how can we drive BitShares forward and what can we do. So we have presented to the community this worker proposal, and it is about taking the strengths of BitShares and taking it to mobile. So BitShares has 4 key strengths, and we have the user-friendly account names, we have the 3-second block times, and we have the easy coin creation or the user-issued assets, and the smart coins. And currently the power of this is more or less locked up on laptops and computers. But if we get that power fully released into mobile where people are using it on the go, it can make a significant difference. And so this is a comprehensive proposal. It has a $550,000 budget, and it's well researched. We've looked over the in preparing everything. Now it is brought forward by the cabinet, which is a group of 6 of us who also have brought forward the DEXBot worker proposal. And so we have a marketing plan. We have a $150,000 contest. So what we are really looking forward to doing is to have a $150,000 contest for the best ideas. The contest is to get all of the smartest people. What can we do with a coin? What can we do with a custom coin and a custom coin wallet together? As we get these people together, we're going to develop the top 3 of these ideas into a working custom token proposal. Now, there are some other Android wallets out there, but this is more of a custom use. And that is what we are trying to do. And so within the proposal, it's basically stands on four legs. We need community support and involvement, and that's a lot about the contest. We need the programmers. They really need to execute in order to connect this wonderful technology that we have that is so good with the mobile platform. We need the developers to do that. And then we have we need management and we need marketing. And a lot of this is also about marketing, about getting the actual proposal, the power of BitShares out to the people. So how we are planning to do this in our proposal is that we're going to have the $150,000 contest. We're going to have multiple prizes on there, somewhere along the lines of 20 prizes. And the taking the best of the mobile app ideas and then actually developing them into the app. So we want to get some viral marketing potential going on. We want to make sure that we found the best ideas. We want to really build a community and get people involved. And we want to bring businesses into the blockchain. Now, one of the things about these businesses or other organizations with a custom asset is it can become a really smart way for marketing. So if we go out with a traditional marketing program, we may get one user. But if we go out and get somebody that's going to create their own custom token on the BitShares wallet platform, they're going to want to go out and actually market for us and actually take those, take the power of BitShares out to all of their customers on the mobile Android platform. And so by doing this, we want to bring that power to point of sale and other places where people are in the real world. We sort of think about, BitShares is very powerful, sort of like a car. But if you don't get it out into the hands of people on the go, We can't really drive it on the open road. We can't really experience it all that we experience the full power that BitShares has. And so we want to also go ahead, and we are trying to pull the entire community into this. We want you. We want you to enter the contest. We want you to join our Telegram channel. That's the main aspect where we have been communicating. We want you to volunteer with us, work with us. This proposal is going to require a lot of different skills, everything from the from graphic designers, the programmers, the marketing, the promotion. And so we would rather pull all of those skills within our community and use people that understand, BitShares potential and help us to truly take this out. Now, this proposal is brought to you by the Cabinet. That's the group that was behind the BitShares DEXBot worker proposal. So it's there's Kimmy Ching, Cryptick, Permy, Marco Pastillo, Crypto Kong, and Dan Gabriel. And so we've all been involved in the DEXBot project. We're doing escrow multi-signature on it. And we're also more or less directly executing in this project, where we are going to be taking it and be directly overseeing the project. Kevin is more or less going to be the project overseer. Now, this project isn't really about us, it's really about use. We want to see more people using the BitShares blockchain. We're BitShares enthusiasts. We've seen the discussions that go on, and rather than talk about the things that are needed, we wanted to bring a worker proposal forward into the community that we really believed would bring this development and bring the customers into BitShares. And so as this worker proposal came together, we had a lot of discussion groups and a lot of people of how can we drive BitShares forward and what are the strengths of the platform. And so this is how we developed the Android worker proposal. So how did we get here? Really, it was about stopping complaining and start creating. And we looked at the development we needed. We looked at how is BitShares growing compared to the competition. And quite frankly, one of our big concerns is that BitShares could be left behind. I mean, we're number 30, we're number 40, depending on what day you look on CoinMarketCap. There's a lot of creative crypto projects out there. And if BitShares does not move forward with critical development, BitShares can simply be left behind, and all of our BitShares can become worthless. The use of a blockchain is ultimately by the number of people that are using the blockchain and the actual use and economic good that it is actually doing. And that is something that there are some numbers that people probably don't always like to look at that are actually important. So while there's over 1 million accounts on BitShares, only 140,000 of those accounts actually have BTS. Only 50,000 of those accounts have more than 3 BitShares in the accounts. If you look at an activity in the last month, 33,000 of those accounts had a trade estimated. And so there's about 12,000 accounts a day. Now, one of the ways that you can look at any organization is what is the value per customer. Facebook, for example, has 2 billion customers and a $600 billion market capitalization. That means every customer is worth like $300 an account. If BitShares active customers are at that price, we end up with a number of 15 million, not like a number of 500 million. So really, if you're looking at the active people, BitShares is valuing customers more along the lines of $10,000 per account. So what do we do when we have a $300 million worker fund and we only have 30,000 people actively on the network? That is promotion. And so we need to promote and we need to find some creative ways. Now, internet marketing can be an expensive way to get customers. And that is why we came up with a little more creative way that included both the development that we needed, and the development that we need, we believe, is going towards mobile, and we need to get people excited. I mean, we have this powerful features. We have this Lamborghini that's sitting in a garage that we need to take out and we need to show people. And so that was how we were trying to formulate a plan in how can we make these strengths work together. And so our prize money with the contest that we're offering will bring some publicity. The publicity is going to bring the people. The people will bring their contest entries and some of their real world problems. And then the contest will cause them to create solutions and creatively work off of each other. These solutions will bring the mobile use, and the mobile use will bring the people. The people will bring the value, and the value will make our BitShares prices go to the moon. It's there's a lot of steps to the plan, and it's a lot more complicated than that, which is why we have a 40-page business plan that's in support of our worker proposal. But we're trying to get everything in here, and you don't want me to go through all of the details. We're trying to keep it quick. So some cool things about the proposal. Well, the smart coins, our custom Android wallet, is going to be the idea of taking a wallet, and then you will choose your coin. And basically at that point, this token or coin, the wallet will take on and look like it's customized for that coin. And it will work for every coin, every token in our platform. So smart coins, that will make our wallet look just like a fiat wallet, or just like any other cryptocurrency wallet. And so within that, we want to, we'll have basically 3,000 wallets for the price of one. But in a way, really, we're focusing on the top three. To keep a simple focus, we're going to, in our coin contest, take the top 3 best ideas, and we're going to fully develop them. And then these tools will be out there for everybody else to use, for other businesses to do that. And so this is going to target the 2 billion people that don't have a computer. And this is going to go ahead and also just bring it out to the masses. The prize money is not just prize money. We're not just giving away prize money. We're actually trying to use that as sort of a seed money for very creative ideas. And we're also going to be giving away lifetime memberships, get more people into the community. That's something, in a way, it's sort of free for our community. And it also gives them the ability to execute their ideas, to create the coins, to create their user-issued assets. And so as people are going to be entering our contest is actually designed sort of like a business plan. So we're going to trick them into creating an implementation plan or a business plan where from their coin, by the time they finish their entry, they're going to be, how can we take BitShares out? How can we actually implement our particular use? And so this makes the contest a win-win, where we are going to have people mobily that entered the contest provided with a wallet that, hey, this wallet can now solve my organizational problems. And it becomes a win-win for everybody. And BitShares is going to get new customers and new coins and new users. And so if we have a couple of successful wallets, we're hoping to be able to pull a lot of people into the plan. On this, we have a test marketing we're planning to do in the developing world. It's a portion of it, but we believe we can get some users that way to help test, troubleshoot cheaper, more effectively, and try to get some of the usage. It's really one of the untapped potentials. Now, this has been a hard thing for a lot of other crypto solutions, but we want to go ahead and try that as well. Now, there's been a lot of people complaining on Telegram rooms. We know about it, and BitShares. Are we going to complain about it being that Dan left us, and are we rejected? Are we we're geeky, sort of the redheaded stepchild of the crypto world? And I don't think that that's really appropriate. We have world-class, powerful tools. Let's stop complaining. Let's take the DEX off of a computer. We are smart. We're ready to go to new frontiers. This is exciting. I mean, we have a world-class decentralized organization. Let's take it up to its full potential. Let's do a comprehensive solution for BitShares. And so that is, the way that we are looking to take BitShares forward. And we believe that we can take it to its full potential. Now, I don't think that this is the only development proposal that's needed. I would just say it's probably one of 10 or 20, and we're totally in support of having more. It's been an exciting first week in our rollout. We've already gotten 80 million, about a quarter of the votes that we need to actually pass the worker proposal. And so we're on our way towards getting the worker proposal passed. Please join us in the Telegram chat room. Please join us. Please read you can find links there for the worker proposal as well as for the business plan, which is quite extensive. It's very exciting, to offer solutions. In our custom coin solution, we've been talking about many different ideas. This could be used as a cafeteria coin at a school where they have their own custom money. It could be used as like a frequent flyer miles for an organization. It can be used as a free beer. Buy one beer, get 10 free. It could be used to do something like using an Uber or a taxis. We've got a number of different case use scenarios. The power and the value of these custom crypto coins or tokens is already seen in the real world, where many people have frequent flyer miles or other organizational points. And so by getting organizations to start using the power of a custom token coin solution, we're also positioning BitShares right at the point of sale to go ahead and pay for that as well. Of course, we all know we need both the customers, the retailers, and the customers to use a payment solution in order for that to be implemented. So that is sort of a quick oversight of what we are trying to do as we're taking this, as we take BitShares from the computers out into the world. So let me have a few questions.
Well, I would like to say let's try to keep it to about 5 minutes. We're a little bit over already, but I think that we'll have the after party as well, so we can talk about this. I would love if you would stay too.
Sure, absolutely.
But I would also invite you to join up anytime you want to discuss these ideas. I actually personally agree with many of the things that you said. I think that there are some people who do have questions. Like there was one, will it be open source? Why a single token wallet instead of a multi-wallet?
Yes, it will be open sourced, and we're trying to keep it simple for the why a single token. It will have the ability for one token, but from a user standpoint, we're focusing on one user on a simple case.
Gotcha. Good job. So does anybody else have a question? I think we can maybe ask one more.
I'm really into the whale shares, obviously, as Fuzzy knows. How will all those tokens still be there, those assets?
Yes, so the post-competition, how long will it be supported? So within our proposal, we do have some support going forward for a set time period. I believe it's over a year. Our proposal is going to last a year, so that's going out for 2 years on it. The tokens are all on the BitShares platform, so yeah, it would be supported going forward.
Yeah, I think that one of the very important things that we tend to not look at, and Taco has talked about it, and now Clockwork is talking about it, which is the fees and that the majority of them come from asset creation. And that's just for right now, because there aren't a whole lot of assets being traded compared to what there could be if every organization used it for their own loyalty points, internally or externally. This is a big area that is not really tapped yet, because they didn't really have the things that they needed to gamify their business internally.
Those fees are something that we definitely saw, and that played a part into it, our proposal, because you can't support a cost-benefit analysis on a worker proposal when you have free trading fees, and we're almost fee free.
Well, it sounds to me like they are having a competition is what this 150K is for, right?
Yes.
So it's basically, it sounds like to me like how EOS is having hackathon, where they reward the best idea and the best thing that comes to them. And then everybody else participated and knew that they were participating for a chance to win, right? And then we end up having something that's open source and white labelable. That's
Yes, that would be accurate.
Got you.
I just have a quick question, if possible. Is my audio working?
Your volume is very low, but yes, it's working.
Just a quick question. I think that a lot of us that have questions, I feel terrible asking a question. I need to read the 40-page document first. I implore everybody to do so that the next time we bring this topic up, that we've all have the information at our fingertips that we've already read. The one question I wanted to understand is that there's a $150,000 prize. It sounds like a lump sum prize. Is there any prospect of cutting that up into little bits, so it's like best idea wins this amount, best user, like a prize? Usually when they have like a prize event at the end of an AGM or something like that, it would be, divvied up amongst many people in many small quantities, so that there's
absolutely, we're doing that. We have, if you look in the business plan, we've got like 20 plus prizes. We've got a bunch of different categories, and we're wanting to add more. So yes, we really want to take that money and sort of spread it out as a seed capital for a lot of different projects, so that they can move forward and they can try things. So we have different entries, most creative idea, most NGO or charity idea, most likely to succeed, and just a whole slew of categories.
As tips, and sometimes to buy it as well. And that's a really good thing I want to push forward. I think it's really great to do that.
Well, thank you very much for joining up. And I will ask you guys if you can just one more time tell them the Telegram group.
Yes, the Telegram group, it's a BTS Android Worker is the Telegram group, and that's where most of our discussion happens.
So https
t.me/BTS Android Worker.
There we go. Yeah, just to make it clear for everybody and I will post the link in here. But before we do that, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to just say thank you for joining up. I urge you to continue coming back and talking about this. And as a matter of fact, we do a lot of contests and competitions on a little bit smaller level. that's not always for like hardcore development like this, but I would love to see if we can work with you guys to kind of do some tokens for tweets and things on something like this.
Sure, sounds exciting. Thank you so much for having me today.
Yeah, I think it's really cool, and I look forward to discussing a little bit and letting people open up some more questions in the afternoon. And with that said, thank you guys, everybody who shares this content and who lets everybody know that we're doing these weekly. We do it for a specific reason. You know, I have people reach out to me and tell me that for $1,000, they'll cover me, and they'll have a hangout and talk about my projects. And they're telling me that they're giving me 80% off deals for this stuff, right? And I find myself in this place where I've consistently throughout this time in crypto, I found myself thinking, you know, are we doing the same thing that we always did, just putting a crypto layer on it and saying everything's good? And that's not how technology works, right? Technology always ends up being in the motive of the people using it, and how they intend to use it ends up becoming one of the biggest factors. So I try to mindfully create an opportunity in this ecosystem where people can join up and they don't have to pay to do that. They can join up and they might have to take criticism if they're doing something wrong or somebody perceives them doing something wrong. But it's real and it's honest, and it's something that we can all do together to help define the parameters of what value really is in this space. Because even though everybody likes to say everything's trustless, as long as humans are at the center of it, trust is important. And I cannot really state that enough, and how important it is that what you guys do, and how important it is that you guys do it. This is obviously a community ordeal. It couldn't happen without a community. So I want to thank all of you guys for that. And if you know, even if you're a newbie and if this stuff actually makes sense to you and inspires you, consider taking a moment to share some of the things that the people here are talking about. Maybe even clips of somebody asking a hard question and getting an answer, right? These are the types of things that we can do that help not only talk about the things that we're doing here and inform people, but also promote what the people here are doing, and do it in a way where they don't have to pay money for it. Now, with that said, Taconator, you are up next. Actually, Fab actually is up next. Sorry about that, Fab. With the BitShares Committee news, would you like me to bring this up, Fab, or are you wanting to talk about it? You're going to open up your... Dang. I was hoping you'd open up your mic. Okay, I'll read it for you. Sly, secretive little news from the BitShares Committee. The BitShares Committee received ownership of the Hero token with no further handover or information. The committee decided not to accept the management of Hero and is currently voting to send the asset back to the Hero Foundation, which is Cryptonomics, Stan, and Michael, the original owners. And there was a link provided to cryptofresh.com. So we are going to discuss this for a moment. Is there anything in specific that you'd like to talk about with this, Fab, or is it mostly just an update? Fab. Okay, Hero is now moved back to the Hero Foundation, yeah. And what you're saying is that it seems like it was sent to the committee without asking or the committee voting. Is that what it is? The committee needed to vote on essentially taking it and managing it or not, and they voted not to. Once Upon a Time is asking, how does that benefit BTS? Can you explain once? You can get on the mic if you want. Hot mic. You know, I'm not sure. Here's one of the issues that I have. is this something where the committee it's the management of the asset in terms of the ownership of it? And if that's the case, then I mean they're not really having to do anything, right? I mean it's just there. To me, it would be price feeds I thought are just witnesses. I'm almost positive that's the case. I don't.
Well, not for Hero. For Hero, it's a it's a privately private thing where you basically appeal to Stan or Michael or whoever. Mostly it was Stan in the beginning as to whether or not you would be one of the feed producers. Yeah, so anybody could do it.
Okay, so
as long as they ask Stan for the permission to do so.
So as long as Stan gives them permission, they can do it. It doesn't have to be something done by the committee. So it's nothing that's disastrous to the BitShares or the Hero project, is what it sounds like. Am I correct or am I completely? Okay, Fav's saying Hero is a privatized smart coin. Okay. Well, and that's something I guess is something that I don't think we've ever really talked about privatized smart coins, though. We've never called them that. Anybody can have a smart coin that they create. Obviously, it's a little bit more to it than just the UIAs. But a privatized smart coin would be the one that's not technically officially BitShares, I guess. So is that kind of what's happening? Is like the committee saying we don't want to really officially be representing the Hero. We just want to represent the base tokens that are BitShares. Once is saying Hero was set up to benefit BTS. Yeah, I don't know if that's necessarily what they're getting at or not. I'm just kind of taking it. If I'm thinking about it correctly, I would be saying, I guess, that they are just trying to keep only BitShares like the old school, the most standard tokens, nothing extra. Needs Okay. So privatized smart coins are usually based on promises made by the issuer. I can see where you're saying that, but at the same time, if they're transferring ownership, then that changes that to be something it's a little bit harder, isn't it? Well, I guess
exactly. That's the main I think reason that the committee has rejected. I'm just jumping in here, Fad. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I agree with what CM said. It's an asset that is put forth by a private party, and they have promises, or they're trying to achieve something with it. To transfer that ownership of that responsibility to the committee without even asking them is I think a little bit cheeky, as was said here in the chat. So I agree. It doesn't seem appropriate to do that.
Yeah, I think this is one of those cases where people can learn a little bit more about what the committee has to do. This is one of those things that the committee, it can't be really a smart contract as easily, I think, for this.
Not only that, but keep in mind that Michael is on the committee. So it's not like this is done without, I mean, he could have introduced it himself and said, hey, guys, what do you think about us moving our Hero asset over? I mean, it's a charity-oriented asset. It is a good marketing tool, but I don't understand why they've decided that they don't want to manage any aspects of it anymore, and that should be part of the committee's responsibility to do so. But it wasn't handled very well, in my opinion. It doesn't sound like.
Yeah, it sounds to me like there needs to be a little bit more communication, and I'm glad that Fav is bringing it up so everybody's kind of informed of what's going on with that within the community or the committee. Does anybody have anything specific that they'd like to bring up about this further, or questions?
Well, I see once upon a time said he'd like to see minutes of the committee meetings. Well, in some cases, those minutes might be, might need to remain private. But for things like this, those should be public. So it's a sticky issue as to whether the committee proceedings, any discussions that they've had, should be made public. I think in some cases it would be appropriate to be public. In other cases it wouldn't be. So it's hard, and it's up to the committee to decide what to do, and it's up to their who they want to appoint to do the work to make it public. I don't know how they conduct their business, but that's my 2 cents on it.
Yeah, I personally think that we have a model that could be done very easily right here, just like what we do here. That we could have an after party. We do have an after party where everything is offline. We're not recording and we're not doing any of those things. And we can discuss things that we have to talk about after the fact. You could have private and public, right? We talk about this in EOS too, because EOS, they have some governance issues that they're trying to deal with. And I'm trying to tell them, hey guys, just have open agenda hangouts. We've been doing it for all this time. It's not like it's untested, I think that there's always, I agree with you. There's always certain things that we want to keep from going public right at the time. But even in those cases, there should be a procedure to say, okay, this is being kept under wraps for a specific amount of time because of this reason. And after that time, it will be released along with this paperwork showing people why it was done the way that it was done. So in retrospect, we can look back on it and say that it was done correctly.
Yeah, we ought to have that all posted on the forum or someplace that's captured. I agree. Chain BB, anything that captures it permanently would be great. So, but Fave is on the committee as well. So these are things that we should have discussed for sure.
Well, thank you for bringing it up, Fav. And this is the reason why we have these, right? It's nothing necessarily negative on either side. Some people end up taking it that way at times, but this is a big journey, and we're trying to figure out all the best ways of doing things, right? And we're trying to teach people who are newbies along the way and give them an archive to learn and multiple ways to learn. And it's not an easy thing, even though it sometimes seems on the surface like it should be just cut and dry. Now, with that said, thank you everybody for participating in this part of the discussion. And I think it's fair to say we can move on to Taconator. Is that cool with you guys if we move on to Taconator to discuss some of his topics for the Taconator?
Fuzzy, you're missing the chat. His mic is not currently working.
Oh, his mic is not working. No, what happens with my Discord is I literally have to scroll all the way down and then hold that little bar, the little scroll bar. I have to hold it to the bottom because what will happen is somebody will type something, and after it fills up to a certain point, it literally starts taking me like halfway up the chat. So I have to keep scrolling down to keep up with things. And if I don't, yeah. Anyway, yeah, time for another new computer, Fuzzy. Thanks, Fav. You're a smart ass. You guys know how much I love getting new computers for this. Okay, so all jokes aside, I'll go ahead. Let's dig into this a little bit. So the BitShares fees, the fee schedule and DEX profitability. I would read all of this, but I'm going to be honest with you. This is a lot of the stuff Taconator has talked about this in Hangouts so much, and it seems like it hasn't changed too much. A couple basics that we can tell everybody is the reserve pool is currently operating at a daily loss of 326.5 kBTS per day. And that there is 85%, over 85% of the DEX reserve pool revenue comes from non-trading operations. And that even with that, there is, even with, it says here, furthermore, the DEX reserve pool replenished at 3.5 kBTS per day, as stated above, is spending approximately 330K at the moment. So we have some issues here in terms of how much is being subsidized using the reserve pool and how much is coming in. And he believes that the fees should increase. And he gives a breakdown here of some of the places where the most account fees are being brought in that are kind of historically like what we've talked about with Taconator, which actually primarily, I think it's even well over 85% comes from non-trading operations, right? So creating of accounts, creating of tokens, anything that you see on here that is not trading is where most of the value comes from. And I think as we look at other crypto platforms, we're seeing that there's a lot of issues in terms of fees. Okay. There we go. Sorry, Crypto Billion. We got to mute you, buddy. Okay. So we have an expenditure that is not as much, that is more than what is coming in, and we have to address this. And he's saying that he wants to address it using increase of fees, and that over 85% is coming from the non-trading operations. So it's a good question. How would we do that? How would we go about changing those fees? You could change the trading fees, but you'd have to change them significantly, a lot more, a lot higher if they're a lot lower amount that you're getting from them. Or you can quote unquote tax or charge a little bit higher of a price for the other transactions, the other operations that are already the lion's share of the operations on the network. And it should you should be able to bring in the same amount of money by changing those fees less. That's my take on this after I've read all of it. But what do you guys think?
So I've done
Go ahead.
For traders, like 99% of the fees are from the market fees right now. So it's kind of off balance. That's all I want to say.
He says here it was the key. Here's probably the most important part that he says to summarize what he thinks is I have a fee schedule proposed I'm currently working on that would see most fees raised by 4x. Combined with the proposed 10% increase in witness pay to 0.9 BTS per block, the reserve pool would only subsidize the platform to around 25%. Thus, with an increase in user base, the platform would go back to breaking even if considering witness pay as the running costs, which sounds a lot healthier. Now, there's obviously the potential problem that if you're doing that with the trading, that you're going to create a lot less volume in trading, which is something that it's probably one of the most important things for a DEX. And then,
I think when you say this, you have to convert fee to tax and think about it that way.
That's what I actually just said. That's funny that you say that. Like I kind of did, but then I hate to do that because I find myself thinking, you're in here voluntarily. You know what I mean? Like trying to get a transaction through. So it's a service, but if you're increasing the fees, it is kind of increasing it like a tax in a way. So what do you tax more? You know what I mean? Like it's a hard one, but I personally think that you don't want to increase transaction fees for trading by 4x. I think we look at what's 85% of the economy and we tax that at a far lower rate and get a lot more from a lot more transactions. That's personally.
Yeah, but Fuzzy, have you seen that bot that's like spamming the network recently?
There are many of them that are starting to pop up that are. I mean, I think.
No. I mean, those are like trading bots, but this one is literally trying to spam. it's like it's done 4 million.
Armin, this was brought up last week during the party, and I think it even made it into the archive. Stay for the after party. We'll brief you on that, where everybody's aware of it, including Fox. It was addressed last week in the archive.
Oh, okay. I just wanted to make a point, though. I already understand how it's.
In short, it was determined that it wasn't a problem, even though the network can handle it. It wasn't costing the network. It looked like somebody was saying that maybe the bot was deliberately doing it for profitability reasons, and it turns out that they're actually paying the fees and there's no loss, so the network can take it. And today's after party is pretty special.
Okay, I mean, it is causing problems because of replay, and also the wallet is getting, the Explorer is being spammed, so you can't properly see transactions.
Fair enough. I'll be happy to talk to you more in the after party about it.
Yeah, it sounds like it's going to be something important to discuss. So let's go ahead real quick. I wanted to cover that real quick, and then there's a couple other ones. Free coins at BitShares, or BitShares was upgraded. I don't know why Tucker said free coins at BitShares. Why? But I'm sure he's laughing. Congratulations to the witnesses in BitShares development for conducting another upgrade of the BitShares blockchain. So that was smoothly accomplished. Obviously, those of you guys who've been paying attention to these Hangouts are aware that this has been something that Fox has been talking about for a while now. So you are not surprised. I'm sure you're not surprised that it went smoothly, because everybody seems to be up and keeping up to date on all this stuff. So that's good news. And then let's go ahead and close this one off with I'd like to you a beer with bitCNY. Farmer D, who is a farmer in Canada, recently bought a pint of beer for someone in a pub called Love Beer in Weihai, China, using bitCNY. He should be considered for the first BitShares Peace Prize. I think it's really cool that you're starting to see that these are the types of things that we talked about with Bitcoin in the earliest days of Bitcoin. Like, oh, we've got this added here, right? And you can actually see, like, BitShares is one of the things that they have right there. So it's like BitShares is 5 years older, 5 years younger than Bitcoin. But it's one of those coins now that's being recognized in more places. And let's face it, China, whether people like it or not, China is one of the biggest places for cryptocurrency, if not the biggest. So seeing those things there, it's kind of interesting to see how the world is changing, how the economies are changing. And we have community members buying other people beer now with BitShares. It's a pretty cool place to realize we are after only 5 years. It took Bitcoin quite a long time to be able to do some of those things. So with that said, let's go ahead. I promised you 5 minutes toward the end, and I'll just remind everybody here, and it's nothing against any of you guys. When we do the RSVP thing, there's like a cutoff at 12 hours before, where I go and vote generally 12 hours before, 10 hours before, sometimes like that, before the Hangout. The night before the Hangout, I'm reading this stuff, basically. So I don't want to go ahead and like look in and tell people that I'm going to consistently check to make sure that they posted, because anybody can post at any time, really, throughout the week. But toward the end, after I've already voted on everybody and set it up where I know where it needs to be and my team knows where it needs to be, I try not to shuffle anything. However, if you have some updates, Harrison, I do want to offer you a couple moments, because you're consistently working hard and you're trying to bring value. So are you guys cool with Harrison having 5 minutes to give an update real quick? and then he can come on maybe next week for a full one. Okay, well, please go ahead, Harrison. If I haven't heard anybody say no, hell no.
Okay, thank you, Fuzzy. My apologies again for the late comment. Popped it in a little bit too late. I'll check into the 12-hour limitation next time. I wasn't aware it was 12 hours. But anyway, getting back to the Azera project update. So I'm happy to announce that the Azera project has organized its first meetup in physical space in the Melbourne Blockchain Centre in Australia. So we'll be having effectively an Azera meetup with an Azera pitch presentation to a live audience of over 100 people that'll be hearing Azera discussed and explained to the entire audience here in Melbourne, which heavily features BitShares. I will be live streaming it, or the Blockchain Center will be live streaming it, and that will be syndicated across the BitShares social media space. So going to live stream it to Beyond Bitcoin. I'll see what we can work out. Anyway, so the event is in Melbourne, Australia at the Blockchain Center. And I'll be discussing Azera. So next topic that I wanted to get into is the Azera Twitter competition. So Azera is currently running a Twitter competition all over our social media sphere, where users can post a one-sentence answer to the question, what does Azera mean to you? And go into the running to win a prize of 200 Azera plus 5% of their current Azera balance. So we've had massive participation in that contest so far, and the winner of that contest is going to be announced in the Azera Hangout, which is 1 p.m. UTC tomorrow on Sunday. So the winner is announced in about 24 hours from now. So that prize is 200 Azera plus 5% of the winner's balance. So the last thing I'd like to bring up is that Azera's preliminary ICO will be concluding on the 1st of September. So that is in around about 5 weeks. And in order to offer people a good opportunity to purchase some Azera crypto assets, Azera is having a discounted rate to 60 cents BitUSD per Azera for the next 7 days. So this has been running for the previous 7 days, and we've had some significant uptake on people who are taking the opportunity to acquire some Azera at this discounted rate. So that'll be running for the next 7 days before the price does increase to 75 cents BitUSD. So the opportunity is there for the people in the BitShares community to consider the Azera project and what we have to offer the BitShares space. And I'll definitely be having a look into that worker proposal to see what the BitShares project can offer in the way of promotion for that project, because our interests are very aligned on putting a mobile wallet into the hands of users. Stands close to our core values and making BitShares more easily used by everyone. So that pretty much finishes the Azera project updates. And if you'd like to learn more about the Azera project, you can go to www.ezira, that's EZIRA.io. Thank you, guys.
Thank you very much, Harrison. Thank you for keeping it to the point. Everybody, thank you for being here today. Thank you for sharing the content. If you're telling people about these Hangouts, and if you're not, ask yourself why. What we do here is special because it's not one of those things where we do too much of asking you to pay anything, right? But what we do ask is that you leverage what you do have to share what we're doing and share what one another are doing. That is what these platforms are for, is reciprocal help and creating a community that cares about this stuff and working through the difficult problems that we have. And one of those difficult problems is getting noticed. right? So if it weren't for these types of events that we hold, these types of events that Harrison is holding, these types of events that I'm seeing more and more starting to pop up. If it weren't for those, we rely again on things like television and one person telling us what to believe all the time. And not having anybody there to really question them, right? So this model is very important, and I want to make it clear that all of you guys who participate in our events, participate in the things that we're doing, and help the people who are passionately coming in here and talking about the things that they're doing and the things that they care about, helping in those places where you feel like you connect with it is all you need to do to make this world a little bit better place. And I'm not saying that it's easy, but all of us collectively doing those little things, it sure does add up. And I believe that what we do here is kind of just a little showing of what we can do. It's not even anything really more than a taste. And we progressively get more and more people who think like us, who listen to us, and I have them talking to me behind the scenes, telling me that they've listened to us for many years and want to work with us, and all these cool things that are going on. And it's because of the right people with the right ideas and a passion to change things and to try to make things better. That is how we're going to get forward. And you guys supporting those people whenever you believe in them is the most important thing you can do. With that said, thank you guys for joining up. Thank you for participating. And thank you for being patient with me for the past 5 years. It has not been easy, right? See you guys soon, next Saturday. And if you want to tune in for the EOSTalk tonight, we'll be talking to Warbly, another cool project that I'm going to be advising on. So thank you guys very much, and we'll see you guys later on tonight if you want to join up there. And of course, being BitSharians, how can you not be invited to these events? EOS was made possible because of you guys. With that said, have a good one.